Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Factorio, and today we are doubling up on iron. I did some math, it's as scary as that sounds, and to load up on these things, I want the numbers in the things to be 20 times whatever the stack size is of what I'm loading, because 2 wagon trains hold 80 stacks, and I'm counting up a quarter of the supply crates, so it's 1,000 for a stack size of 50, which is what iron ore and all the ores is 50 in a stack size. So I want the loading stations to be 50. Unloading turns out to be 44 times the stack size because I don't care how much is going into the trains. I care how much is left in the wooden crates, so that there are enough spaces left to totally fill up the wooden crates with what's in the train. Because each crate needs 5 stacks free, and they've got 16 stacks total. That's 11 stacks taken, and the cat's meowing. And so for stacks of 50, that's 2,200. So you'll be I'll be checking and fixing these things all episode as I go to the different stations, but that's not all I do. So I'm right here. What I did was I emptied myself of all my raw materials. Because I'm constantly getting stuff in my inventory, but as you always do in this game. But for me, it's all these raw materials because I'm never making anything in my hands. Let's see. Yeah, I upgraded the unloading arms, or I'm about to. Sadly, I'm looking at my at my cat as she's being a jerk face here. But anyway, I was working on the unloading arms there to make sure that that they were going as fast as possible. And then I'm setting up this second station here. Basically, I want to double up on iron ore, and then also get more smelting going, and then also double up on the trains that are moving the iron plates around, so that we have twice as much throughput of iron, because obviously that's where the problem is currently. So I also need more mines, more miners, and I totally forgot to bring miners down with it. But for now, I'm just going to I'm going to set up. I'm going to set up the lines, and then I'll worry about bringing miners down later, because I'm already down here. I might as well get the lines going before we go to back up all the way back up there to get things, especially because I always forget something else, and maybe I'll see it before I go up there or whatever. I almost got hit by a train there. I don't know if you saw how close that was. At 3 times speed, it looks harrowing. At normal speed, it also looked harrowing. I thought I was going to die. I was surprised when I didn't die. As always, I'm off by 1. Or I'm off by just a couple. It's just annoying that none of my lines seem to ever match up. But what are you going to do? So I decided it's time to go back up. I've got the lines running now. Now what I want is more stuff being mined. So I head my way back up here, and I go to the thing here, and I'm just grabbing what I need. I notice I need more belts, so I grab those as well. And then I need more furnaces too pretty soon, so I made sure that it's making more of those. And I grabbed all the miners I had. And not sure what I'm checking here. I'm checking all the numbers on everything right there, so to make sure the numbers match up. And here, it just backed up a little bit so that this thing would go down. And there's a problem. You can't go directly south from there, or I don't remember what I did. There's a reason I did that. But anyway, as I'm walking here, I noticed that the trees that I had marked to cut down so long ago are still here, because I just never come back to this station. And also there was a few miners that needed to be taken away, and one miner that wasn't even supplying anything to the line. But that copper or that coal area is gonna last quite a while, because you just don't use very much coal. Even in the early game, before you get any solar power or anything, coal takes a while to run out. When it does, that's a problem. But before that time, you're fine. So I decide to just totally saturate this field. I don't want to space the miners out anymore. I want to get the field emptied as fast as possible, so I can scrap the area and just move on to another place. So I set up my miners here to send half of the iron one way and half the iron the other way, and of course that means I want a 4x4 splitter, which, as always, I have not made yellow things for, so I have to do it manually, as always. I'm getting pretty good at it now, especially the ones I use currently. Commonly, I should say, the 4x4 and the 3x4. It's easy now to get the balancing going, so that's nice. Land yet another line of miners, and as always, I run out because you never have enough. So I decide instead of growing back up and grabbing miners, I'm only missing 3. I decide to space out the wider area a little bit to get it going, just so that I can get a full thing. And then I decide that, like, making this thing making it work really well is stupid, so I just run that thing in there to get it going. What I should do is I should make a 5x4 splitter, but I just made the 4x4 and I don't want to do the work. When it all comes down to it, I don't want to do the work. Checking here for biters, making sure there's no biters encroaching. As I've said before, I turned down the settings for biters. They don't expand very much. I think probably they expanded 10 times. I think I'm set to expand once an hour. So since I started, they've expanded 10 times. So it's going to be a while before they expand again. And doing some cleanup here. I can't wait for these original ore fields to go away. And I notice here that even though we've got pretty good throughput on the iron ore, we are just not getting enough iron to the ends of the thing. So I decide to run some more lines so that we run the ore faster. I'm basically doubling up what comes from the train stations here. We're definitely going to want that as we get 2 trains running full time. We're going to want more ore coming up through the thing. So I decide to expand our lines here, and when I get up here a little bit, you're going to see this terrible balancer I have going, and it's ugly, it's terrible, it's stuffed in there, and I need to make it worse. So I think I clip these off. I run the ore through just to get most of it out of the way before I give up and just pick up the entire array here. I clean off all these things and I decide, okay, let's just get this thing done. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 lines coming, and we need them to be 3 lines. So let's go ahead and make a 5x3 splitter thing, 5-to-3 balancer, and I decide I'm going to run it up there. So I need to clear everything away, which you can't do while you're holding a blueprint, which is annoying. So I drop the blueprint in my thing, and you notice that I had to place I had to lock blueprints in there. If I didn't do that, it would have stayed, or it wouldn't have stayed. It would have the thing would have deleted. There's a mod I have, and I do not remember the name of it off the top of my head. I think I'm gonna, while you watch me build this thing like I've done so many times in the past, I think I'm going to check and see what that mod is named. It's called Blueprint Remover. It is specifically there to so that when you're using the blueprint book exclusively for your blueprints and you don't actually have them in your inventory on a normal basis, it cleans them out of your inventory, and it only ignores blueprints in your inventory that are sitting on a spot that you've marked as like a location for them. So it's really nice, but it sucks when you want to hold on to a blueprint and you don't want to put it back. So I have done that now, and now that I've added those 2 more lines, you'll see that the ores are actually making it all the way down to the end of the smelter array. So we fixed the problem, but there's more of a problem. I need a second ore line, and I actually thought I had it already. I kind of mentioned the ore pickup stations a few minutes ago, and that's because I knew this was coming. I actually thought it was already here. So this is terrible. I wish I didn't do this. I wish I had torn this apart completely and set up the stations correctly, but I didn't. So that's just the way it is. Maybe in the future I'll do that. I think possibly more likely in the future I'll just abandon the station, let it die, and then come back and just wipe the whole thing off the face of the earth once it's not being used anymore. But for now, it's all I've got, and I need it to do my smelting. So yay for pitch black. What are you going to do? I changed my blueprint rail setups again, as I do frequently in this game. I set it up so that the stations are like the stations have just the arms and the boxes, and then the belts coming off are a separate blueprint. That way I can rotate and flip them around and have the exit belts going any direction off of these things. It's very nice that I can do that now, because I can choose if they go off the top or the bottom, or if they go left or right, and it's very convenient. I can't tell you how convenient it is to do it. It's a little bit of a pain to get it lined up. I kind of wish there was some sort of visual cue that I could figure out how to set up. But anyway, we set up another drop-off iron ore station, and now a train could just come here at any moment and drop off iron ore. So obviously we need to balance this thing in, and instead of doing it the correct way, I just cheese it. And do it that way, and I figure that's good enough for it's good enough for me. I set up my filters here. Here I'm putting filter inserters instead of the fast inserters. I do not want an accidental train to show up and start not dropping off iron ore and dropping off something else, and then clogging up the lines with non-iron ore. That would be kind of sucky. So I set up my lines here. Now I never set it. This was the first station I ever made, and I never set it up to turn on and off because I never needed to because there was only one. But now that there's two, I want them to turn on and off with the 2200 amounts. And now it's time to actually make the second iron ore train. So that's pretty cool. I copied this stuff from one train to the other. I'm going down south, and we've got 2 trains and 2 stations. And what's going to happen is this guy's going to get stuck because this is the nearest station, and he was pathing to it, and there was never anything to tell him to not path to it. At the time of recording this, I have no idea how to make that not happen. I have since figured it out, so you don't need to tell me. But if you want to discuss it, feel free. But you don't need to tell me because I have solved the problem myself. It's a couple videos from now, but I do eventually get it. So I come back up here with the train, and I'm happy with the amount of smelting that's going on. And I'm watching the other train, though. I want to make sure the other train comes up to this station, and it does. And the reason it does is because when it left its station, the train up here was already in the station. So as long as when it starts pathing, it's pathing to the new station, it's fine. The problem happens when the other station gets full midway through. Then you're going to have a problem that the train's going to want to come to it. So, but now it's time to build the next station, which is the another iron ore iron plate pickup station, so that we can have 2 iron plate trains, because we just have way too many iron plates needed in the factories, and we're just not delivering them fast enough to even fill up one factory, let alone both of them. The 2 we have, the one for gears and the one for electronic circuits. So I set up my things in here, and I'm deciding where I want the belts to come in, and then I realize that I've set up an unloading station. What I want is a loading station. So I let my upgrade planner delete all the things, and then I put loading arms on there, and then I decide I want this to come. I probably should have done it on the bottom, but I changed it to be on the top, and I'm gonna keep it like that because there's really no reason not to. But it's a little out of the way to up on the top. It probably would have been bad on the bottom too. It's mostly because this minibus is here, and until that thing's gone, it's going to be ugly. So I basically kludge this together here. I set it up so that we have split off from the line that's going to the other station. I've split off three things. So I need I'm sorry, I split off 4 things apparently. Oh, no, I split off. This is the 3x4 splitter. I got confused because that 4th line going in, but that 4th line going in is part of a loop-to-loop. So I set this thing up, and then I just need to run the 3 lines to it that I split up off the other things, and yeah, it's ugly. What are you going to do? Other than make it correctly. But like I said, until that minibus is gone, that's just the way it is. And until I have a station set up to do everything in that minibus, it's going to be there, and that's just the way it is. So now I've got iron ore or iron plates coming in here, and I've sacrificed a lot coming off of the other thing. So what I need to do now is I need more smelters. That's just the way it works. You need more of everything. So let's see. I don't know what's left to talk about here. I was making more train engines there because they're not being done automatically. That yellow factory that I started out the game with is down there, kind of just sitting there ready to make engines when the time comes, but it's not actually doing it. So I've placed this train here, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing here either. I think I was setting up the stations with the right numbers, which is 2200, I think, for the unloading. But I'm sorry, 4,400 for those because they're double the size of an ore. But anyway, let's go down to where are we? This is the gear / steel factory. I'm just checking all these again. Like I said before, it's 4,400 for these guys because they are they're mid numbers, except for the coal, obviously, which is 2,200, and the steel I think also is 2,200. But here I realize here that there's never a chance that the steel is going to fully saturate a line. So I delete one of the lines because I would need like I think 4 or 8 steel factories or steel refinery things in order to fill out that line. I think it's 8, and I don't think I'm ever going to have that many. That would be crazy if I did. So time to head back down here, make sure everything's running fine here. It looks like it is. So it's time to expand. I want to clear out this area. I need to set up my next factory. My next factory is going to be a real factory. We're not just making products. We're not just making intermediate products, I should say. We're making actual products. My first factory is going to be belts. I'm going to make every belt that's ever going to be used in the same place down here, ideally, and then eventually, some of them are going to go off to the science thing, and a lot of them are going to go into a supply train that is going to bring them to me whenever I am out and need them myself. But first of all, we need to set up the rail infrastructure, and as always, it's night again. I really want night vision. Sadly though, it's like factories are quite a ways from now. Science is quite a ways from now. I need to do a lot before I can start making more science, and in order to get night vision, I need to research more because I don't actually have it available as an option in the game currently. So we let's see. Yeah, it's also annoying that I ran out of train lines there, so I was going to take a train back, but there was 4 sections of rail not being done. So I come back here. I drove manually, obviously, because I had to jump out, and then I come up here, and I think here's where I realized that I should I need to drop off. I need to make a 4th smelting array. So and I realized I couldn't drop it there because that was a book, not a blueprint. So I had to delete the blueprint filter on that spot on my inventory, and then drop or delete the book blueprint, whatever. And so anyway, here I'm planning for the future for once. I am looking at how far away the smelting array is from like if I were to place another smelting array where that stone patch is. I want to be able to put one in there next time, like when the stone runs out. I want to be able to put one there, and I can't currently because it is the stone's there. So I placed this smelting array in such a way that it will I can place one in between. So that's just the way it works. Now I might not even use up all that stone because I think I've already, like in my current play, I've tapped that line. So I need more iron ore coming up, and I need a bigger, oh boy, yep, I need a bigger splitter, and that means I need to place something. This ends up being, I think, a 7-to-4 balancer, because I've got 3 lines now and I need 1 more, and I've got 7 lines going into it. So I'm going to cut all these things apart here, I was trying to wait for the ore to go, but that just takes too long. So then I filter through here and I go 7 by 4, and it's a lot smaller than I thought it was, and it's also very cool looking. I like it. It does well. It is compact and cool looking, and I accidentally placed over it. That's one of the problems you have with doing things like this, is you end up, if you place over something, then you don't know what it was because, just the blueprint deletes it. I wish there was some way to force you to not be able to place anything on a blueprint except for what it has, which of course would make these yellow to red changes completely not work for me as I'm doing this. But maybe it would have gotten me to actually fix the problem here. And ran out of belts. That's something I don't usually run out of. Let's use long reach to grab 400 belts out of the box there and run this thing up. But yeah, someday I'm gonna fix my yellow belt problem with those blueprints, but then probably by then I'll be on red belts, and then that will be fine. I have red belts available. It's just I don't want to build them. That's one of the reasons I'm starting with the belt factories, because I want to have red belts available to me. I decided to run this over the top. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I also decided not to bother with landfill, because I'm not making landfill right now. So I just I don't know why I'm being so particular. I don't want the underground belts to look like they're in the water. So I run that like that. And then quick and dirty, I just put this in here, and then I run a second line to here so that we get everything balanced out well, so that I don't know why, just so it is. And then I realized that this train line is screwed up here because there's a power pole in the way, and then these are screwed up too because there's underground belts in the way. And if I remember correctly, over on the other side there is also there's a thing there that's stopping that. But yeah, that's it there. So next episode we are going to be testing the delivery to the circuit factory, and with this thing, making sure that the double trains works. Looks like actually we're going to it right now. So I guess that's this episode. But I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.